adventure in the great white somewhere.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Disney movies that were revolutionary.
You think they've never seen a new toy before?
Well, sure, look at him. He's got more gadgets on him than a Swiss Army knife.
For this list, we'll be looking at Disney films that broke new ground, technically and culturally, changing the landscape of cinema. What Disney movie changed the way you view cinema? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Bambi. Bambi seems simple on the surface, but there are deeper layers to the story that people often take for granted. Something similar can be said about nature, which Bambi captures in ways that few other films have.
You're to be congratulated.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
While Disney had depicted animals in films like Snow White, the studio strove to achieve another level of realism with Bambi. The crew not only took research trips to the Los Angeles Zoo, but studied real animals at the studio, including two fawns appropriately named Bambi and Feline.
That's why the animation is suddenly different. It isn't some artist remembering deer that he saw on a farm when he was a kid. It's some artist remembering the deer that he studied yesterday with a pad in his hand.
Perhaps even more impressive than conveying believable animal movements, Bambi was a milestone for emotional realism in animation. The film would change how many view practices like hunting and shine a spotlight on animal cruelty, amounting to the Bambi effect.
Come, my son.
Number 9. The Princess and the Frog. Following a 5-year hiatus, Disney revisited traditional animation with The Princess and the Frog. While the film drew inspiration from the past, it also looked to the future with Disney's first black princess.
So I work real hard each and every day. Now things for sure are going my way. Just doing what I do. Look out, boys, I'm coming through.
Considering that most Disney fairy tales take place overseas, Tiana is also among the studio's few American princesses. The film marked a historic moment for representation, and not just at Disney.
Can I let up now when I'm so close? I gotta make sure all Daddy's hard work means something.
Looking over the landscape of US feature animation, there had been few mainstream films centered on a primarily black cast since 1992's Bebe's Kids. Interestingly enough, that film's director, Bruce W. Smith, was a supervising animator for Dr. Facilier. Although Disney's feature animation has sadly since shied away from hand-drawn artistry, the film still signified a turning point for diversity. Number 8. 101 Dalmatians. After years of emphasizing realism, Disney's animators started to experiment with more stylized works like 101 Dalmatians. In addition to showcasing a more contemporary look and setting, Dalmatians brought animation into the future with xerography.
We have a plantation, a Dalmatian plantation.
Raj, that's truly an inspiration.
Ub Iwerks, Mickey's co-creator, had developed a xerographic process that could transfer drawings straight to animation cells. Although this would spell the end of traditional inking and painting, xerography would significantly cut down production costs.
You'd have a lens and an electrostatically charged plate, and the lens would take a picture of the drawing and transfer it to that plate. The plate would get dipped in toner, and then the toner would be transferred to a clear cell.
After experimenting with the technology in Sleeping Beauty's Thorn Forest sequence and the short Goliath 2, Dalmatians went all in on xerography. Since Dalmatians contains over 6 million spots, xerography proved as efficient as it was innovative, even if it took Walt a while to come to terms with the film's modern aesthetic.
Over the next 50 years, the Xerox process didn't go away. It became a very, not only cost-effective way to make animated films, but also became more sophisticated.
Number 7. Tron. The computer proved to be the future of animation and live-action filmmaking, although many failed to realize this when Tron arrived in 1982. This sci-fi adventure would be among the first features to prominently utilize CGI.
Look at that. When do we pay our visit to the old Master Control, huh?
Featuring roughly 20 minutes of computer animation, the film blended digital imagery, backlit animation, and live-action elements to create an electronic world unlike anything audiences had ever seen. The film was so groundbreaking that the special effects community wasn't sure how to respond.
I'm warning you. You're entering a big era, Flynn. And
Gonna have to put you on the game grid.
Games? You want games? I'll give you games.
Shockingly, Tron wasn't nominated for a Best Visual Effects Oscar, with the misconceptions surrounding the computer being its undoing. In time, though, the industry would come to recognize the computer's artistic merits and the importance of Tron's breakthroughs.
Tron, like, a great wine, has just gotten better with age, and I think, what it started in filmmaking, from that point on, it's been forever changed.
Number 6. Fantasia. Another film that was underappreciated upon release, Fantasia remains among Disney's most ambitious experiments.
What you're going to see are the designs and pictures and stories that music inspired in the minds and imaginations of a group of artists.
With animation still generally being seen as a lower medium, Fantasia demonstrated how the art form can be every bit as invigorating as a great work of music like Rite of Spring or the Pastoral Symphony. Fantasia not only overflowed with some of Disney's most dazzling imagery, but it revolutionized sound in motion pictures. Disney's engineering team and RCA developed a sound reproduction system dubbed Fantasound. This would be the earliest example of what's now known as surround sound. While Fantasia received an honorary Oscar for its use of sound, it wasn't until the film turned a profit decades later that people truly realized how ahead of the curve Disney was.
Let's design it left, center, right. Then they said, let's put a surround track and it'll give you an acoustical feeling of a concert hall. That's today's philosophy. We are doing nothing different. These people started from scratch, and what they did is unbelievable.
Number 5. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I don't work Toontown. What's wrong with Toontown? Every Joe loves Toontown.
They get Joe to do the job, because I ain't going.
Combining live-action and animated characters was nothing new in 1988. Disney had been experimenting with hybrids as far back as the first Alice comedies 65 years earlier. However, there had never been an endeavor quite like Roger Rabbit, blurring the line between ink and paint and flesh and blood. Director Robert Zemeckis achieved such authenticity in a masterstroke of staging, lighting, cinematography, and, of course, animation, which the late Richard Williams oversaw.
What a genius! Ouch!
We're supposed to be hiding. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? You're the only person in the theater that isn't laughing. Is there nothing?
Technology aside, Roger Rabbit was a watershed moment for animation fans, uniting characters from Disney, Warner Brothers, MGM, Fleischer Studios, and others. At a time when many feared that feature animation was on the brink of extinction, Roger Rabbit was something of a ceasefire, with animation rivals joining forces to save a medium. Number 4. Beauty and the Beast. 3 years after Roger Rabbit, Beauty and the Beast continued to push animation to unprecedented territory.
You like it?
It's wonderful.
Then it's yours.
The film continued to break new technical ground with its iconic ballroom sequence. In terms of storytelling, Beauty and the Beast delivered the studio's most active heroine and fleshed-out romance yet. With Alan Menken and the late Howard Ashman returning to write the songs, Broadway solidified its presence in animated musicals.
Course by course, one by one, till you shout. Then we'll sing you off to sleep as you digest.
The studio knew that they had something special, so much so that Gary Kalkin, a Disney marketing executive, suggested debuting an unfinished version at the New York Film Festival. Following a 10-minute standing ovation, Beauty and the Beast went on to win the Golden Globe for Best Picture Musical or Comedy, and became the first animated feature to be nominated for the Oscars' top prize.
I knew it would work.
What? What works?
It's very encouraging.
Isn't this exciting?
Number 3. Mary Poppins. While Walt Disney won 22 competitive Oscars, Mary Poppins marked the only time that he found himself up for Best Picture. Despite not winning that award, Julie Andrews would be honored for her magical performance.
As I expected, Mary Poppins practically perfect in every way.
The effects team didn't go unrecognized either, a technical highlight being the jolly holiday into an animated world. Blue screen might have been the norm, but Mary Poppins utilized the sodium vapor process, or yellow screen as some call it.
Have you ever seen the grass so green, or a bluer sky.
The yellow in question stemmed from the hue of sodium vapor lights. This technique delivered cleaner results, allowing the filmmakers to convincingly isolate actors, as well as elements like Andrews's veil, from the backdrops. Although this technology had been touched upon in films like The Parent Trap, its presence here redefined the game. Number 2, Toy Story.
I tell you, I could fly around this room with my eyes closed.
Okay then, Mr. Lightbeer, prove it.
All right, then I will. Stand back, everyone.
After years of being seen as a technological threat, the computer confirmed that it was here to stay with Toy Story. Slowly but surely, CG animation would become the new normal for mainstream features in the US.
Look, we're all very impressed with Andy's new toy.
Toy?
T-O-Y. Toy.
Excuse me, I think the word you're searching for is Space Ranger.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say, because there's preschool toys present.
While Pixar's debut feature was praised for its technology, receiving an honorary Oscar, it wouldn't have left as much of a cultural impact had the story not been on par with the visuals. Becoming the first animated film to receive an Oscar nomination for its screenplay, the witty dialogue, high concept, and heartfelt character dynamics provided a blueprint that many rival studios would try to replicate. The most successful ones, though, have built upon the innovations first laid out in Toy Story. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Black Cauldron. Despite bombing financially, it was Disney's first animated feature to use CG.
My beloved warriors have come to life. All the dead of centuries past. Never has anyone created an army like this.
Tarzan. Deep Canvas allowed the vine swinger to surf through a 3D jungle with a traditional touch. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, a masterclass of art direction and special effects.
Take your men down the starboard side! You men, come with me!
Sleeping Beauty, an epic worthy of Super Technorama 70 widescreen.
Thus, on this great and joyous day, did all the kingdoms celebrate the long-awaited royal birth.
The Little Mermaid, the birth of the Disney Renaissance.
I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. Watch and you'll see.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Tell us a story.
Yes, tell us a story. A true story.
A love story.
Although it was predated by a few other animated features, Snow White delivered no shortage of firsts. It was the first cell animated feature, as well as the first to be made in English and presented in Technicolor. Most notably, it was the first time that many audiences realized that animation could resonate on an emotional level.
Well, Walt was a better storyteller in that he realized you had to have the pathos, the love scene, and the gags, and the chase, and all of the regular things that make a good picture.
Up until this point, animation was generally seen as a means to make people smile for 7 minutes. Few believed that the medium could be sustained for 83 minutes, let alone make people cry. Despite being prematurely labeled Disney's folly, Snow White had viewers tearing up at its premiere, broke box office records, and earned Walt an honorary Oscar. Even beyond animation, the film's innovation is still felt today.
We don't think of grown-ups, and we don't think of children, but just of that fine, clean, unspoiled spot down deep in every one of us that maybe the world has made us forget and that maybe our pictures can help recall.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.